Hi guys, John with you again, and an update time on the on this. There we go. On this one, it's the Soviet KV122 heavy tank. It's from Trumpeter. This finger, John. Trumpeter. Yeah, it's from Trumpeter, and it's in 1/35 scale. And that's it. That's the tank. If you've been watching the bum, you saw that I got most of the construction done, and I now have it finished. The construction part of it, that is, and I've given it some primer in some areas because I had to do the tracks and the wheels and things. They all had to be done and then fitted on, and then you had to go off and put on the side skirts thingies. Okay, so we're going to take a look down to the bench. I'm going to show you how far I've gotten, what more I've got to do, what bits I have done. Okay. Okay, so here we are. We're now down at the bench. Let's have a look and see what I've gotten done so far. Now, as you see, I'm after getting the primer on. Now, I haven't got the primer completely finished yet because I had to put on the tracks, get them all fitted, get them set, get them painted off. I used dark iron on the tracks, and for the primer I used this, which is Vallejo Surface Primer, Russian Green. It's very, very dark, so I'm actually going to use that for the dark and light pre-shading technique. I'm going to sort of highlight some panels with white and then give it an overall colour. I'm going to mask off this section down here so I don't get anything on the tracks, and with the final colour then I can hand paint them onto down here, so it doesn't really matter, you won't really notice it too much. The aerial, as you see, it's got the old brass wound aerial. I used me guitar string. Okay, it's the heavy brass one, or bronze, should I say? I beg your pardon, brass. It's 80/20 bronze. That's the string I use. Okay, the Dario strings. That's the string I used for that. That's the primer I used for it. And like I said, I used oh, I think I have the colour right here. Oh, there's the brown. There we go. That's what I used. XF84. Too much light. XF84 dark iron. Okay. That's the colour I used for the tracks. It's a great base colour for starting the tracks because it's kind of a burnt iron, dark iron look, and then you can sort of add rust pigments and things to it, and it works out fabulous. Like I said, I'm going to mask off the track area and all that, finish off the primer, and then give it the light and dark technique, and go for the sort of a pre-shading thing in it, because I'm going to go for a slightly lighter colour, because when I start adding a wash and things, it's going to darken it up again. I used the tow cable that came supplied. Okay, it's a bit of wound brass. Very, very good tow cables, I must admit. The Trumpeter, last couple of Trumpeter kits I've done, they've had this in them, and it's absolutely brilliant because it's very, very flexible. Yeah, you can make your own, but I find when I do make my own, they're very, very stiff, and you've got to kind of heat them up and anneal them, make them softer, and you still don't get them as soft and flexible as these. So these are a win-win, totally, without a shadow of a doubt. I wish I could get some of that stuff separately. If anybody knows what that stuff is called and where you can get it, you mean if you can get a kind of a roll of it on eBay, you'll never need to buy any more cabling stuff again. But it works. It does a fabulous job. It really, really does. I've also got a figure done for that. Okay, we'll just pop him in, because I haven't bothered painting the bottom of him. I only painted the top section of him. Okay, and he fits in there nicely. Okay, and he's going to be sort of up like that. Okay, so we have our figure. Okay, and I give him just the blue overalls, brown for the leather, black for the hat, and flesh coloured. That's all I did for that. And I give him my usual Agrax earth shade on him. That brings out any light and dark on the faces. It does a grand job, and it brings out creases and things and makes them look good as well on the uniform. So that's about as far as I've gotten. Like I said, the next step for this now is another finishing off with the surface primer. get all this section primed, the tow cables, the aerial, like I said, and then go for the highlight some areas with white, and then give it the finish colour, and then it's a case of onto weathering and things like that. So overall, it's a fabulous kit. It really is. It is a fabulous kit. The fit is absolutely brilliant on it. Couldn't fault it in any way. The only thing, like I said, well, I wouldn't say call it a problem, the discrepancy that I had was with the aluminium turned barrel. But I did get the seam lines out of the plastic one, and it was a good solid fit. So why bother? You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So therefore, it didn't need fixing. So therefore, it didn't need to go ahead and use the aluminium barrel, which I would save, and I would probably use in a later stage, something for the stash anyway, I suppose. So that's it for this quick update. I can move on now and get this onto the next stage. A bit more painting to get done to it, and a little bit of weathering. There isn't really that much more you can do to it. I suppose you could, if you want to put into a dio, you could do a lovely, say, sort of a what if dio, because these things weren't actually used. There was only sort of a couple of them built, prototypes, and they used most of this in the development of the IS-2. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I think that is the way it worked out. They just tried out different things on this. Secretly, they get the big gun into the turret, and that was the whole purpose of this, the KV122, and that what else? It was the KV122, and there was another one that they did, KVI22, that was it. And they played around with different turrets, different guns and things, and trying out different concepts and engines, and, you know, getting an engine to, you know, which works better, which does. So they got, you know, I mean, like everything else when you're doing testing, some things work, some things don't. So this was the KV122, and I'm quite happy with the kit itself. It really is nice, and when it's finished, it's going to be a fine tank. That's definitely a fine tank. So I'm going to leave it at that, lads. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe. Don't forget to give it the old thumbs up. Any comments or anything you want to ask me, stick it in the comments box below. And don't forget, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it, and enjoy it. This is John signing off and saying, have fun out there. It's a hobby to be enjoyed.